Throughout the course of the last almost 2 months, we've taken many opportunities to go through the Mets slide and how they went from everything is coming up roses and Coca is whistling Dixie out of his pituitary gland, thinking about October dreams and ticker tape, to a place now where they are holding on to a wild card lead as the third wild card and wondering, will they do anything other than look up to Philadelphia ever again? And normally, I would tell you that panicking is not the order of the day, nor waiting for a tweet from Steve Cohen which says, this is just a stretch, everything's fine, because that's been generally my point of view. But I hit my limit yesterday. And I hit it not because the Mets lost to the Guardians. I didn't hit my limit because the Mets got one hit where Juan Soto hit a home run off Gavin Williams, and who pitched 8 1/3 no-hit innings, trying to get the Guardians' first no-hitter in decades. No. I hit my limit because listen to what the manager said after the game.
It's hard to kind of just pinpoint one thing, but you look at the game today or the past few days, we go in with a game plan and we haven't been able to make adjustments as they're making adjustments to us as a whole, as a team. Yes, individually, you got to make some adjustments, but as a team, you got to be able to recognize how they are attacking us, and we haven't been able to do that. Today was pretty easy. You saw the curveballs below the zones against the lefties, finishing lefties with fastballs at the top. He threw some two seams against our righties. But once you get that first time through, we got to be able to make those adjustments and recognize what he's trying to do, as to the whole team. And I feel like not only today, but as the past few weeks or so, we haven't been able to do that. And good hitting teams are able to make those adjustments, and they're able to. All right, that's how they're attacking us. We got to do this. We got to flip the script here, and that's where I think is the next step for us to be able to recognize that.
How do you feel about that if you are the hitting coach for the New York Mets? If you're Jeremy Barnes and Eric Chavez, the two hitting coaches, I assume you realize that you're about to lose your jobs, whether it's today or at the end of the season. And in terms of team adjustments during the game, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about when the players look at the iPod or the iPad during they don't look at an iPod when they look at the iPad during the game? Why wouldn't the coaches be saying to the players, listen, you understand that your approach is wrong, and that if there's 2-seamers, 4-seamers that are away, and they're attacking the top of the strike zone, or they're throwing 2-0 spin every time, whatever the case may be during the course of a game, is that the coaches? Is it the players' responsibility? Is it the manager's responsibility? Well, spoiler alert, it's the coach's responsibility during the course of the game, but it is the manager's responsibility not to meet the media after a game and pretend and do the Heisman toward the coaches, the Heisman toward the players, when the facts state that it hasn't been a couple of weeks that the Mets have had a problem. It's been since June 13th. Right now, it's August 7th, and he gave you that tape August 6th. Think about a team that has gone 18-28 since June 13th and think to yourself, why does that happen? Well, generally, if you're not hitting and you're not pitching, you're not going to win games. But what the Mets are doing puts not hitting in a, they can't even see not hitting from here. When you look at what their ranks are in average, on base, slugging, hits, they are 28th or 29th in Major League Baseball in those categories. There's only 30 teams. This is a playoff team. This was a team at one point with the best record. This was a team that had a huge division lead. This was a team that on June 13th was 4.5 games up over the Phillies, and all of a sudden it's not that they're in a little slump. That's a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I'm getting nervous. 4 weeks, oi. We're now up to almost 2 months. But don't worry, they've got the pitching. Remember all the excitement with the great pitching when the season started, how locked down their starters were. You never heard of them, but Montas and Manaea were hurt, and they were just stepping up, people in their place. Number one in ERA. Well, guess what? Since June 13th, the starting pitchers are 26th in Major League Baseball in starting pitching ERA. And when you are 26th in starting pitching ERA, and you're 29th in average and 28th in slugging, when you can't get hits because you're 29th in hits, guess what? You can't get wins. And when you don't get wins, you fall in the standings. Forget the fact that the Marlins have made up 11 games on them, because that's not wholly relevant. Look at the Phillies. The Phillies made up 7 games in that period of time. And as a Mets fan, you may be thinking back to the 2000s. Well, we blew a 7-game lead with 17 to go. So now we just have lost 7 games in the standings over almost 2 months. That means we're doing great. The problem is, it is no longer, the Mets situation is no longer acute. It's no longer about a moment that you just dismiss and say, we will get through it. This is now becoming truly what their season is. Now, at the end of the season, you look back in totality, and if they're middle of the road in ERA and they're middle of the road in average and runs scored, you'll say, okay, they're a middle of the road team. But the fact is, when you've got World Series aspirations, which the Mets do, you are very focused on how you are doing in the second half of the season as you head into October. You want to go in the way our team did. You go in as the best team in baseball since May 31st. You go in with momentum that carries you in your mind into the tournament in October, where you can get the breaks, where you can take advantage of the breaks, and you can end with a ring. Not only do the Mets not look like they are ring-worthy, my concern is that in a National League where the Reds are, they have a really good team if you examine them and watch them, which later in the show we're going to ask you to watch them tonight. But is it possible if the Mets are no longer October-worthy at all? It's one thing being not ring-worthy, but October-worthy? Juan Soto has it nailed. Nailed with what's happening. Quote, I really don't know. I really don't know what's going on. But definitely we have the talent, and the guys are capable of doing damage. So I think one day it's going to turn around. That's my $765 million dude. I don't know. What do I know? I just work here. Isn't that a funny thing that you do that in your place of work? You know you do. When something's going on and someone says, what do we do? How do we fix this? What do I know? I just get a paycheck every 2 weeks. What do I know? You're Juan Soto. You can say that. If I'm the GM of the team, president of the team, and I see that my manager has said what he said, my number one highest paid player has said it, guess what it's time for? Very, very quietly. This is the moment I'm having a team meeting. We got an off day today, which the Mets need. I'm going into the next series thinking to myself, this becomes a critical moment, Coca. And before we get off the Mets, I just want to give you an idea of where they are headed next and whether or not they have a chance to actually get a little rebound. And guess where they're flying today. Just guess. Where's the one place well, there's two. Where's the one place in the National League you don't want to go when you are cold as ice, foreigner? Where is it? That's right, baby. Milwaukee.